painter. I don't understand color theory. I can't paint.
Guys, that is called a fixed mindset, which is straight out bad for you. And let me explain why.
Hi, my name is Gigi, and I quit my teacher job to become an artist or pursue art. That's something that I've always dreamed about, but the road there is quite bumpy. It's not as easy as it seems on social media, where people only post their success stories. I too was inspired by other people's successes and took a leap of faith to pursue art this year. I thought that the day after I quit my job, everything would be awesome, great, because I'm living the life that I've always dreamed about. But in reality, it wasn't that easy, mainly because of self-doubt. Am I good enough? Will I be able to make it? Did I make a horrible choice? But then I realized, you know what? If I don't put faith in myself, if I don't trust myself, why would other people put their trust in me? That is the point where I shifted my mind from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And it's a mindset that is very powerful, that I've seen many successful people have, people that success in business, careers, even in building relationships. This growth mindset is really powerful. Let's dive a bit deeper into that mindset and see what it means for you and for me while I work on a landscape painting.
In my university studies majoring in education, the most important topic we covered was how to make a student open for learning. And it was not about having the most creative methods or ask the right questions to make them curious. Of course, that is very important too. But the most fundamental element to learn anything was the student's ability to believe in themselves. That is the core idea of a growth mindset. Instead of seeing failure as a limit of your abilities, you're seeing it as an opportunity to grow. And instead of seeing feedback as something personal or personal critique, you are seeing it as something constructive. Instead of sticking to things that you already know or sticking to a certain way of doing things because that is how you have always done it, you like to try new things and evaluate them afterwards. We could look at this perspective shift from the example of an aquarium. In an aquarium, there are a lot of fishes, and a fish called, let's say, Henry, is one of the fishes swimming in the aquarium, along with other fishes trying to find food. Henry and the other fishes look for food on the surface because Henry knows from experience that that is the place where you always have found food before. But for some reason, Henry can't find food on the surface for days, and he gets hungry. The other fishes start to get hungry too. But Henry believes that if he waits long enough, there will be food. And if days go and food doesn't appear, he guess he'll just give up and die of hunger then. There's nothing he can do about it. Meanwhile, the other fishes believe that if they put some effort into looking for food in other places, they might find something to nib on. So they decide to swim downwards to the seaweed to check if any food has fallen down there. They check on the seaweed on the west side of the aquarium. Nothing. But they don't give up. They proceed to swim towards the east side of the aquarium, where there are some tiny stones spread on the flooring. They can't see anything on the stones, but they thought, you know what? What about under the stones? So they start plucking the stones one by one. And surprisingly enough, after the 10th stone, they found a soggy piece of fish pellet, which was the best snack they knew. In summary, the other fishes didn't give up, tried new ways when they were challenged. On the other hand, Henry stuck to the old ways of doing things, because that's how things always have been done. If the way he knew didn't work, he would simply just give up. So if you had a choice, would you be like Henry or be like the other fishes? Would you choose a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? The reason I chose to do a landscape painting today as today's subject is because I want to implement this growth mindset. I have never been a fan of landscapes, nor a fan of painting on canvas. I painted on a canvas for the first time in high school, almost 10 years ago. And I was this insecure, timid Asian girl who grew up as the art kid in class in elementary school, but suddenly in high school I was thrown into this group of artistic people who were so incredibly skilled with painting, the quote-unquote real kind of art, I thought, in opposed to the nerdy mangas I was drawing at home. So I felt really inferior because I compared myself to others. That was my main concern during high school, how I performed artistically and socially in comparison to the popular kids that seemingly had everything figured out from my point of view. I was deeply into a fixed mindset where I saw my work in comparison to the others and made excuses for myself on why I wasn't as good. That is a very toxic way of thinking. I don't know exactly how I got out of that mindset, but I believe it was a mix of meeting new people that share their perspectives on life, encouragement from friends, and explicitly learning about fixed versus growth mindset during my teacher studies at university. The teacher studies involved a lot of group work, and I was surrounded by people who sought improvement in themselves and others, the typical growth mindset I'm talking about. Furthermore, in the teacher studies, we were out in different schools, being observed by teacher mentors who gave us feedback after each lesson we held, which kind of forced me to change my perspectives. It's a mindset shift that is so powerful because once you are in a growth mindset, I believe that you can achieve things that you never thought were possible. And on top of that, I think your perspective on life becomes a bit more positive as well.
This is a mindset that I recognize in a lot of successful people in our industry, such as Andy from Creative Pep Talk, Bobby Chu, Angel Ho, Kelsey Rodriguez, Fran Menezes, to mention a few big names in the industry. The resilience from this mindset is something that I truly admire and would like to incorporate in my everyday life where I face challenges. It's easier said than done, but the first step into making this shift, I believe, is to be aware of what mindset that you're carrying right now, and from there on, change it little by little, just small steps at a time. If I can do it, you can do it. If you don't mind, you can have a look at my social media if you want to support my art journey. The links are down in the description below. So have a great day and remember, growth mindset. Bye!